So hello and welcome to Positive Podcasts. My name is Julie Klopp and with me today is Hanneke Herats. Hanneke lives in the Netherlands and she is a living inquiries facilitator who works with children who have been bullied or are bullying others. And she's going to share her experiences with us. So welcome, Hanneke.
Hi, Julie. It's great to be here.
So tell us a little bit about the living inquiries themselves.
Scott Killaby's Living Inquiries are a simple and gentle tool that helps us process our emotions. And this may sound very basic to process our emotions, and it is, but at the same time it's revolutionary because we don't learn this from our parents and at schools. And from psychology we know as very young children we weren't equipped to process emotions completely. So most of us are finding our ways through life, avoid feeling emotions by suppressing them or projecting them outwards, and developing all kinds of strategies to find relief. And even if it's just for a brief moment, and it is temporarily, because those emotions will pop up again. Somehow life finds its way to trigger us again and again. It's like Carl Jung said, what we resist persists. And that's my experience too. When we don't process emotions completely, we keep on bumping into the same kind of problems over and over. It is as if we are trying to keep a ball down below the surface of the water. And the harder we push it down, the harder it will pop up. And we are quite busy with that. We are not free to do what we feel like to be doing, or we are not aware of other things happening. So it limits our freedom and focus. Another way to visualize this is with the help of this little stomach that represents our feelings and emotions, sensations we feel in the body. And I use this in my work with children also. And it's funny to see how the kids like to hug this little thing. And that's precisely what the Living Inquiries are inviting us to do, to hug our emotions, feelings, and sensations, instead of pushing them away. So let's say Zoe is getting bullied. First, I would like to notice that there's a difference in experience when meeting a friend and when meeting a bully. When she meets a friend, there will be no unpleasant feelings arising. But when she's meeting her bully, represented by this mockingbird, and even when she thinks of him, immediately there will be this unpleasant energy arising. And this is what Scott Killaby calls the Velcro effect. The image of the bully arises together with this unpleasant feeling, as if they were stuck to each other with Velcro. And probably there are more thoughts stuck to this energy. And in these living inquiries, it's important to notice that thoughts are words and images. So there may be more words, the swear word, for example, the bully uses. Maybe faces from children who were laughing at her last week. Maybe some more words, like there's something wrong with me. So all of this arises when Zoe meets her bully. There's unpleasant feeling, and that's actually energy we can feel in our body. And it rises together with words and images. And when meeting her friend, she will be able to speak and do whatever she likes to do. But when meeting the bully, all of this will prevent her from acting freely. And instead she will react automatically. Maybe she freezes, flees, or fights. So let's say Zoe can't speak when she meets her bully, or she tries to avoid meeting the bully. And the bully also, when meeting Zoe, will react automatically too, because of his or her own Velcro. And that's why it's so hard, I think, to put an end to bullying, other than undoing Velcro. And of course, this freeze, flee, and fight response can also be functional and even life-saving when the car is driving our way and it makes us jump away. So that's functional, that's a healthy thing to do to a life-threatening situation. But what I'm speaking of is when this freeze, flee, and fight response occurs when there is nothing really life-threatening happening. It may feel like that because of Velcro. There can be overwhelming feelings and energies. And our focus becomes smaller and our freedom gets limited. But it happens without being necessary for survival. And that's what the living inquiries do. They undo Velcro by processing emotions completely, so that this freeze, flee, and fight response won't be activated when it's not necessary. And in the case of Joey, it's undoing Velcro around the image of the bully. And in the end, this image will be a charge-free image, like any other image, maybe a pile of rocks. So when she meets her bully in real life, she will be free to respond in an open way. So that's what living inquiries do. They undo Velcro by processing emotions completely.
I really like the visual aids that you have. I love that stuffed stomach and the little cards that you stick on them. And so obviously you've used that specifically to tailor working with children with the living inquiries. And how else have you tailored the inquiries to work with children?
Yeah, so first let me explain a little bit about the inquiries. There are three kinds of inquiries. There is the unfindable inquiry, the anxiety inquiry, and the compulsion inquiry. The unfindable inquiry is designed to undo Velcro around limiting beliefs and identifications. Anxiety inquiries for undoing anxiety, and compulsion inquiries for undoing compulsions and addictions. And no matter what kind of inquiry we use, there are four elements. There's one question and three objects. And this one question varies with the kind of inquiry we do, but those three objects remain the same. So those are words and images, thoughts, and energy we can feel in our bodies. So that's emotions, feelings, sensations. And when working with children who are getting bullied, I focus on the anxiety inquiry because this emotion is what they experience most. And when working with adults, we use the question, is this a threat? And somehow it seems to work better when working with children to use the question, is this scary? So we have this one question, and now we're going to ask this on all those objects, words, images, and energies that arise because of Velcro. And when working with children, I invite them to imagine that they are kind of explorers and they're going on an adventure at the inner landscape, the inner world. And we're going to look for words and pictures, and they will appear on their inner cinema. And there will be energies that they can touch with their inner sensory organ, so to speak. So in case of Zoe, we could start with the image of the bully. So ask Zoe to look at this image at her inner cinema. And then I ask her, is this image scary? And Zoe knows how to answer this question, and that's by listening to her body. If there's some energy in reaction to this question, and it can be emotions, feelings, or sensations like a tightening in the shoulder, it means there's Velcro, and her answer is yes. I'll then ask Zoe to draw this energy on this paper and the outline of the human body. And this way, Zoe becomes aware of where she feels the energy and how it looks like. When working with adults, we don't use this drawing. We simply feel the energy and check if there's a visual around it. So then I asked Zoe to have a look at this drawing, and I ask her again, is this scary? And so we will answer again by listening to her body. So let's say there's still some energy. Then I'll ask her to feel, to touch this energy from within, without any words or images, just the raw energy. And then I'll ask the question again, is this energy scary? And if it is, it simply means that there are more words and images attached to it. And we can have a look at those, asking the question. And if it isn't scary, I invite her to rest and feel this energy from within, noticing very closely if it changes and how it changes. And after a while, I'll trigger her again. I will repeat the same process of asking these questions on all the Velcroed words, images, and energies. Looking at all those words and images and energies, that's what I mean by processing emotions completely. And that will undo the Velcro. Yeah.
So what have you discovered from working with these kids?
One thing I discovered is that children are very quickly in undoing Velcro. I was amazed how they can go from feeling sad to bursting out into laughter in just a few minutes. I think as adults we have been building up more layers of words, images, and energies over the years. So our Velcro bundle has become larger, so to speak. And another explanation could be that as adults we have been repeating our patterns more often. So I guess that has made the patterns more ingrained, and the Velcro has become stickier, so to speak. And another thing I noticed with working with children, and that goes the same with adults, is that some children are more aware of their inner world. And they're more ready and willing to explore this. And it seems especially true for the ones who are getting bullied. I think the patterns they fall into are already more inner-oriented compared to bullies who tend to direct their attention away from themselves.
I wish this had been around when I was a child.
Yeah, that would be great.
That was bullied. And it would have been really nice to have an adult to come in with something like this to help me, because I felt so alone with it, which is what I think a lot of children do feel. So I think it's really wonderful that you can come in and provide this and create more awareness around the whole topic. How did you decide that this is a way that you wanted to apply the inquiries?
Yeah, it seemed like the way you said it, indeed. But first of all, I discovered that the way I was processing emotions, I wasn't processing them. I was handling emotions the wrong way. It was working against me. I was simply building up Velcro, I know now. So in certain situation, I couldn't respond, and I reacted automatically, avoiding feeling unpleasant feelings, emotions. And I was already in my 40s when I discovered that there is this simple method of processing emotions completely and undoing Velcro. And when doing that, I can enjoy life more, however the way it's unfolding, and see beauty around me, feel a peace of mind. So I kept on wondering, like you said, why don't we learn this earlier in life? So how wonderful it would be if schools would teach the skill to process emotions completely and undo Velcro. Secondly, I'm aware of a lot of suffering around bullying going on nowadays in schools, social media. And I also see adult clients who are still suffering from bullying in their childhood. And many schools have already anti-bullying programs, and they are helpful in raising awareness around bullying and creating social structures to deal with bullying. But what seems to be missing in my eyes is teaching the skill of processing emotions completely and undoing Velcro. And because bullying thrives on Velcro. There's Velcro and automatic pilot behavior, and the bully, and the ones who get bullied, and the ones who support the bully, either by laughing at the victim or looking away and don't do anything about it. And that's because of this Velcro, we can identify those roles in the first place. So there is the bully, the victim, the supporter, the bystander. And that's why it's so, why I think it's so hard to put an end to bullying, other than undoing Velcro and processing emotions completely, like the living inquiries do. So I started to offering my services as a living inquiries facilitator to schools as an addition to those existing anti-bullying programs.
Yeah, I think that is a wonderful addition. And how can people get in touch with you to get more information?
I have a website, that's www.stresstobalance.nl. It's in Dutch, so for those who don't speak Dutch, can reach me by email at hanneke@stresstobalance.nl. I also have a Facebook page, also called Stress to Balance. And the posts I make there are both in Dutch and English. And facilitations can be done online via Skype or Zoom, but also in person, one-on-one, and in group settings.
Could you actually spell out the name of your website?
Yeah, that's www.stress, and then the two, the digit 2, BALANCE.nl.
Great. Thank you so much, Hanneke. It's been been a pleasure to speak with you today.
Thank you, Julie, for inviting me to do this. It was wonderful.